Well, could we actually ever see a MCU DCU crossover movie? Well, it seems something that could only happen in dreams, but recently DC Studios co-head James Gunn dropped a couple statements about that, and it seems a lot more real than it ever was before. Let's break it down. Well, if you're a fan of comics, you know we have seen many heroes and villains from both Marvel and DC interact with each other over the years. But quite honestly, that kind of universe cross-promotion is something that always seemed pretty much impossible to fans in any other form than comics, especially live action. Now, in the past, Kevin Feige has previously said that he'd never rule it out. And recently, newly appointed DC Studios co-head James Gunn actually revealed that this idea not only could happen, but actually has been tossed around and talked about. Now, this was during a promotional interview at Empire for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And when he was asked about it, his statement was pretty interesting. He said, "I'm certain that's more likely now that I'm in charge at DC. Who knows? That's many years away, though. I think we have to establish what we're doing at DC first. I would be lying to say we haven't discussed it, but all discussions have been very, very light and fun." Now, first and foremost, I think this would be a huge fan event if they could somehow pull it off. Bringing together multiple characters from both universes would be something fans would be extremely hype about, and the general public response would likely be pretty positive. Now, the big problem is the logistics, because quite honestly, it wouldn't make a lot of sense right now, and probably would have worked a little better a few years ago. Now, given the possibilities of the MCU and the DCU and the multiverse, there still exists the possibility, but for me, the primary problem ends up being that Marvel at this point is kind of on their second generation of heroes, and this kind of crossover would obviously focus on the core Marvel and DC characters. They've done this several times in the comics, seeing the Teen Titans hook up with the X-Men, Superman and Spider-Man, Batman and the Hulk, and of course the massive Marvel vs. DC event from way back in 1996, which actually created the Amalgam Universe, which if fans could get to come alive on screen would be a massive win. Now, the idea of both studios striking some kind of deal to work together and share each other's characters, well, that seems wishful thinking and highly unlikely. But the simple fact that James Gunn and Kevin Feige both understand their fans and both really seem to want it to happen, well, I definitely wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibilities. Like I said, I think this would be a really long time off with DC establishing their new world, and maybe we get lucky and Marvel does a reboot after Secret Wars, helping those two things potentially line up perfectly. But we'll have to wait and see.